Welcome back to West Texas View.
Welcome back to our program. I'm Johnny Lou Avery and Kevin Shaw from the Odessa U.S. Army Recruiting Station, and Adrian Villarreal from the Midland Army Recruiting Station are here to talk to us about the Army opportunities as a tour of duty or as a career. And before the break, we were talking about especially some of the education opportunities that are not only available but expected in the Army. And I want us to talk this segment about the choices that they have to make for careers. And is this something that they can ever change? Maybe I choose computers and then I decide I want to do something else.
Yes, ma'am. Once we sit down with an applicant, we normally give them 3 different views. So let's say they were interested in going to college and doing a particular career field. So I would show him how he can do that in the U.S. Army Reserves. I would show him how he can do that in the U.S. Army. And I will also show him how he does that as a civilian. And we have all the tools available to show them exactly how much is education going to cost, what their daily living expenses would look like. So we have all the tools available to be able to implement those plans. So once we show them all those plans, we ask them, exactly what kind of decisions would you like? Would you like the U.S. Army, active duty? Would you like reserves? Or would you like to go on with your recruiting plan? As far as a civilian. And once we get that answer, then we move on to the next process. But as far as jobs and careers and things of that nature, I mean, there's such a wealth of things that we offer that, that's why we need them to come in so we can sit down and talk to them about it, because doing it over the telephone or talking to you face-to-face for 2 or 3 minutes is not going to give you all the information that you need.
Yeah.
So.
And even once you do come in, let's say you come in, so many people, there's jobs out there I don't know about. So let's say I come in and I think I'm interested in computer networking. Okay, so I take that job for a few years, and while I was in, I've noticed that I like this other job this other guy does instead. We actually have the BEAR program,
yes.
And it's just a list of different jobs. So if I come in as a computer networker, 3 or 4 years later I want to change over to another one, well, when I re-enlist, that there's an opportunity, or that option is there for me to change MOSs to a different job. So you don't have to, a lot of people don't know what they're doing exactly coming in. We have vague videos that kind of give us an idea. But, originally I might have been in computers. Now all of a sudden I want to go work on helicopters, so let me go ahead and transfer over. And you're able to do that as well.
And just to talk about different career fields, I've actually held 4 military occupational specialties. So, I mean, in a career like mine, now I have more opportunities on the outside because of the different jobs that I've done while I was in. So, it's whatever you want to do, honestly, you really can do, as long as you have the know-how and the willpower to do it.
Well, I had an interesting story from another branch of the service, and he said that when he went in, he chose heating and air conditioning as his career choice. And I said,
that was mine also.
I said, I can't understand exactly why you would choose that. And he said, well, I wasn't sure that that's what I wanted to do, but I knew that there's always a job available, and I knew I'd get the cutting edge training. And wherever there is a base, it's a city within a city, and so you've got anything that's on the outside and non-military is on the inside at the base. And so he said, I said, well, have you thought about doing anything else? And he said, no, this is exactly what I want to do. I love doing this. So there was all kinds of opportunities that were available to him, but he pretty much already knew what he wanted to do, and that's what you were saying is sometimes they know and sometimes they don't have a clue what they want to do.
Right. Exactly
or
right.
Sometimes they say, well, I guess I'll follow in the footsteps of my dad and do what he did, but they may really have better aptitudes for other things than that. And that's one of the things also, is that you have wonderful tools to help them see what they're best at.
Right.
I think our best tool is and it's not just our tool. I mean, it is a military test, but there's our ASVAB, and well, it's not considered a test. It's more of a battery, But what it does is it lets you know where your strengths and weaknesses are. We have clerical. We do have a score, what we call our line scores. There is combat and things like that. But there's also things like your clerical. There's your administrative skills,
nursing,
mechanical, and that's where those jobs come from. And we have a website for that as well. But it's our Army Career Exploration Program. And what they do is you take the test, and even if you have no interest in the military, you take that test. It's going to let you know. Well, actually, when I took my test as a junior, my strengths were more in the clerical, so I was looking at being a librarian. Is kind of what it told me. Not that that worked out for me, but it did let me know that I was more of one of those. I don't know, perfectionist type. I'm a book guy. There you go.
But isn't that interesting that it made you appreciate a side of you that you had never even thought of?
No idea.
And you think, well, goodness, look what I've missed all these years. I could have been polishing up.
And another key to that is we might have a high school senior that comes in, and their view of the military, the Army itself, is like, I'm just going to combat, so I'm just going to combat. And then we get them in there, and we put them on our Future Soldier Remote Reservation Program, which actually pulls up the jobs, and they see, wow, I didn't know I qualified for military intelligence. I didn't know I qualified to do this and do that. And so we show them all aspects of what they could do in the Army, and it's kind of like an eye-opener to realize the things that you can do, and it's stuff that we can reserve for them and put them in. So definitely a great tool.
It's just like it opens a whole new world of opportunities for them. And how good that must make y'all feel to know that you're really shaping a life or changing a life. And I know that you mentioned that for many of them you encourage them to sign up for a tour of duty, or they have to sign up for just a tour of duty before they can actually sign up for a career. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, a career is what you consider anything after 10 years, because we do re-enlistments. So if you sign up for 3 years, sometime during that 3 years, you'll make the decision again, hey, I want to stay in or I want to get out. If you decide to stay in, like myself, the first time I came in for 4 years, at 3 years I re-enlisted for 6 more years. So I did my next 6 years, and then a year before I got there, I just kept re-enlisting. And after you break that 10-year mark, then you re-enlist what we call indefinite. So now I'm a careerist. I decided, me and my wife decided that we're going to do 20 years in this at a minimum, and that's where your career is. But you'll have multiple opportunities to re-enlist or get out.
And you would not have had those opportunities if in any way except for the military. For travel and all of the things that you've had an opportunity to do.
I lived in Germany for 5 years.
We're going to have to end this program today, but let me encourage you to come back to this same spot next Sunday, because we're going to have these two gentlemen back to continue, because I want us to walk through the process of actually a person who knocks on their door and says, I think I want to join the military, but I'm not sure, and so they're going to just walk us through the whole thing. So gather anyone around that might be interested or might have some questions about the military, and we'll answer them next Sunday. And in the meantime, the information that's rolling across your screen, feel free to call these two gentlemen or me, and we will make sure that they get the information. We'll see you next Sunday with another program.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.